extra stuff in my fat face. I gotta get out of here and go train and meet someone, and one of those days.
I'm just. Well, I didn't just wake up, but I woke up probably like at 12. It's late night.
I was about to say, what time do you stay up till?
I usually don't go to sleep until like 5, man. Morning. Yeah.
No shit.
My brain clock is just. Anytime I try to change it, it doesn't last very long. Like I always revert back to this schedule.
Damn.
But I also feel like I get more done
this way. Like I'm not in the morning. I'm kind of moving slow, so I don't really get into it until after like my clients, after my workout. Then I'm like wired, so then I could get more work done. So I don't mind it, but I would want to at least move it up like at least a few hours earlier. If I could do like 3 a.m. or something like that, that would be a little better. But yeah, it is what it is.
You train people in the morning, or it's more like a nighttime for you?
No, my earliest client is like 11 or 12. And then I have clients like let's say 5, 6. Okay. So I don't usually train more than 2 to 4 people in a day.
Okay. That's yeah. I feel like that's the limit, honestly.
Yeah, because you can't really do anything else, you know? They were when I first moved to LA, I was training. I had like 12 clients daily, but it was 30 minute. Yeah, it was usually mostly 30-minute sessions, just because that's the only way I can get so many people in.
That's 12 personalities. That's 12 problems.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of those clients, they're not really fun to train because a lot of them don't want to be there. A lot of them get trainers just to say they have a trainer, but they don't really want to do anything.
There's a guy over here in Boca. He does like the 30-minute sessions.
Yeah.
And I never understood how you could push those so quickly,
Yeah.
But then that's us thinking, right? Like, can we get my workout done in 30 minutes? Hell no.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, because a lot of them were like trying to lose weight, right? So with that, it's like a really like a what do you call it? Like a really fast paced workout with really short rest time. So
yeah,
we would actually get in a lot of volume just because I had the movement so quick. Pretty much no rest.
Your heart rate's up, so you're burning your calorie expenditure.
Exactly. And then if I had a guy trying to put on muscle, they're such a beginner that honestly, I mean, we do 6 working sets and they're sore, right? So for them, I always go super low volume with decent rest times. It was if it's push day, like 2 or 3 movements for chest, maybe 2 for shoulders, 1 for triceps, and that'll be it.
At this point, that's how I feel. I'm like, oh, I'm good after fucking 6 workouts.
Isn't it crazy how that works, bro?
Yeah.
Like, you remember starting off, and I would look at Dorian and be like, that's bullshit. No way he's doing 1 working set per exercise. I'm like, I don't believe him. I think he's lying. Like, I couldn't even, like, fathom that being, like, possible. Like, I'm like, nah, you need more than that.
I trained legs 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And, sometimes we get in those moves where, like, fuck it, do a drop set. Like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Bambi today.
Yeah, you see?
I feel my legs and glutes, because I did quads, but like my legs in general, I feel they feel like they're swollen. I'm like, man, like I get up and I'm like, oh, like to sit down on the toilet, you're like, what the fuck did I really do?
Yeah. You get what's up, Nate?
Hey, what's going on?
How you feeling, man?
Good. How you guys doing?
How you doing?
No complaints, brother.
Good.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's one of those things. The longer you train, you get a connection with your body and it's not even strength. It's not even because I'm not necessarily lifting more weight, but the way I'm lifting it, there's more weight on my muscles. If that makes sense, right?
100%. Listen, I think you could take. I know we always say 405, but 405, and you can move it. Okay, cool. You're moving it. But if you take
Yeah.
405 and you actually use the connecting muscles that actually you're trying to target, I mean,
It's a whole
something.
different ballgame. Yeah, it's a whole
Yeah.
different ballgame. And it's not necessarily moving in slow motion. It's just the intent. You just build
Right.
a connection.
Yeah.
It is definitely more controlled, but I think it's more mental than physical. Like looking at it, it might not look as controlled as it actually feels, if that makes sense. But you just build a different level of connection. I feel everything. One working set, I'm already pumped now. Literally,
That's
I'm pumped.
that's the thing. Like with about control, I sometimes I feel like what we're going through in our heads, and then you watch a video of yourself. You're like, I feel like it's a lot slower when I'm in the movement. But
Yeah,
then you
same
watch
here.
then like what's so like you ever like watch yourself and you feel like you hit your failure point, but on camera you're like, I could have done like 2, 3 more for sure.
Yeah,
But
for sure. That
in that whole thought process and how you're trying to move, you're like, that's it, man. I'm toast there.
that's failure. Yeah, that's it.
That's why I stopped posting videos on Instagram.
Yeah, Nate. Well, we just talking about training, and
Oh,
like
okay.
the way we used to, like, we don't need much volume these days. It's like we have such a connection with our bodies that it just, I don't know. It's like I literally do 6 working sets for quads now, and I'm finished.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm finished. Like I'm completely drained, but also my legs are completely pumped, wobbly, the whole nine. And back in the day, I wouldn't even start feeling a pump until I'm 6, 8 sets deep. You
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah,
it's just a, huh?
no, I see what you're saying. That, yeah, totally.
Yeah, I would hear people say my muscle connection, and I wasn't really concerned with that. I just wanted to lift some weight. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about all that. You know, I'm not doing all the squeezing and shit. But I don't even feel like I do that. I have to go out of my way to feel it anymore. It's just kind of like natural. I'm just used to it. So Brady,
It's
Yeah,
good.
that comes with the experience.
Hey, Brainy.
where you at,
Hi.
Jim?
Hi.
Listen, I want to give you a warning now. When you messaged me, bro, I think you
Mhm.
made a typo. You said TMM, so I thought you meant tomorrow.
Oh, I probably did. Yeah, I probably
So,
did.
listen, I'm gonna be on, but I'm gonna be lifting, so I'm gonna keep muting my shit.
All right, bet. Yeah, no
Yeah.
worries. So,
Bye.
You said, how's
so yeah,
everybody doing?
Good.
chilling, bro. Chilling, bro. What you up to? Off season? You off season or
Nah, bro,
what you got
I'm
going on?
10 weeks out from Pittsburgh.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Okay, so in the trenches. Okay, all right, bet.
Yeah, I'm
I
going back
didn't
to
know that.
Classic.
Oh shit. Well, your weight, as big as you got, and your weight never got that heavy, right? Because you would tell me your weight. I'm like, really? I was like, oh, I thought you was heavier than that.
Yeah, no, my weight stays down pretty good. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I was 230 at Cal last year and then 235 in Chicago.
Yeah.
But, like, I wasn't, my look was off at those shows. I feel like I could have sucked 15 pounds off and looked better. Um,
Yeah.
and, like, that look, 15 pounds off puts me at 220. My weight cap's 212.
oh,
So then I can lose 8 pounds in the sauna in a day.
Facts.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Facts.
So, like,
If
like the way I saw it when I made that decision was Urs has to drop 50, 60 pounds. Ramon has to drop 40, 50 pounds. Like, we all got to lose. We all got to lose 40, 50, 60 pounds. So I'm like, well, if everybody who has the size is doing that, like,
yeah.
like, why? Like, I'm not special. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
These guys are big, bro.
yeah,
It's
huge.
funny because when you hear the weight, you can't imagine them being that big until you see them in person. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
mhm.
Like these guys are bodybuilders who are sucking down and peaking properly, pretty much, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
these guys are, I think the only way to be successful in classic, you have to have the density of a bodybuilder,
yeah,
and you gotta just check down. I mean, that's what they all do, like you just said.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. So I mean, that was
Yeah,
kind of, and especially like with Boss as my coach, like I just have a lot different of like a confidence level going. Like I feel like I could be back at the top of classic. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like I mean, don't be
Yeah.
wrong. Like a lot of things gotta go right, but like I trusted all of those things to go right to be able to be back, not just at the Olympia, but in the top 10 and start being back in conversations of like being, a good, like a top level competitor.
Yeah. Hey, does his audio sound okay to y'all?
Yeah, this is a little muffled.
It's a little bit low.
The muffled for Brady is a little bit.
Yeah, for Brady, right? I think it's a little bit low. Maybe you could increase the volume on your phone, maybe something like that. I I can hear you, but it sounds like muffled a little bit, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
that's because he just has a
I don't
beautiful
know if that
voice.
helps at all.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Classic is no fucking joke, bro. Like, I remember seeing Urs like a few weeks after the Olympia, and the same thing happened when I saw the C-Bum. I'm looking at him, I'm like, I know that's Urs, but there's no way he could be that big. So it got to be somebody else. You know, I mean, that's not him. No, it must be some bodybuilder that looks like him. I'm like, what the fuck? Is he really that big? I actually got a picture with him. I'm looking. I'm like, I'll probably weigh 30 pounds more than him, but it don't look like it. You know what I'm saying? We look the same, you know. So I'm like, that's crazy, you know. But you gotta same with Sebum because he don't got the showy muscle, you know. He don't got the big traps and big triceps and shit. So you like, oh, okay, he can't be that big. But you see him peel off, and you're like, nah, he'd be pretty big. I'm not gonna lie, you know. So it's one. Huh?
I remember working at Revive in Raw. I worked there for a very short period of time.
Yeah.
And this, he came in, cool, whatever. I looked at him because you're gonna look at him.
Mm-hmm.
When he sat down, he had these short shorts on, and when you sit down, they ride up.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn, his legs are fucking huge.
Well, like when you think about it, bro, like whenever we suck down to make weight, whenever like the clothes are on, everybody looks really small. Terrence is the best example. I'll never forget. I saw Terrence way before he weighed in the arm. And I'm like, this guy is tiny. Like, you know what I mean? And then he takes shit off, and like, when you suck down, dude, you lose everything that's like in between. I can't really describe it. You get this crazy pop effect. You might laugh like there's so much pop to everything.
100%.
And like, it's like Terrence took his shirt off, and it was like, what the actual fuck, dude? You know what I'm saying? Like,
those are the guys that win. How much times you been backstage? The guy that looks the biggest is never the guy that wins backstage, right? It's always the guy that looks kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what to think. You know, those are the guys that win. But if you backstage in contest shape and you look big as fuck, then usually that's not usually a good thing. You know, so sometimes I mean, Stu look pretty big in shape, but most people
always
don't look
big, bro.
Yeah. Most people when they in shape, they kind of, you know. But those are the guys that are winning. The goal isn't necessarily to look big or weigh a lot, right? The goal is to create the illusion of looking big on stage.
That's like Jordan and Stu. They just posted that stuff the other day.
Yeah.
And like Stu's bigger, but Jordan looks bigger.
Well, Jordan actually is crazy because Jordan has a bigger structure, right? Yeah. And now that he's filling it out, honestly, they look way more comparable than I thought. I thought,
bro, I was mind blown. Like I was like, damn, like.
Right. Well, even like the arms, right? Because Jordan, everybody like you got to bring your arms up, and I'm looking, and yes, maybe on his own body, his arms don't look like his best body part, but in comparison, I'm like, your arms look almost the same size. I'm like, holy shit, this guy dude is bigger than I fucking thought. You know what I'm saying? It's all an illusion, bro. It's all an illusion. The way your muscles.
I think Jordan's gonna have a fucking wild year, bro.
For sure.
I think Jordan's gonna have a much better year than even he expects yet.
With that kind of
conditioning and you know, he got the graininess, but he's also super humble, bro. That's the humblest guy.
Yes,
I know.
That's why I love it. That's why I want him to win even more.
Facts. But I do feel like those humble people that do well, I think they're confident in their mind, right? I think they still got that dog. They just don't. They don't express it publicly. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure if you act like his wife, she gets to hear that part of him. Like, nah, fuck that. I'm coming
Well, I
here.
mean,
You know
like,
what I'm saying?
even in conversations I've had with him, like, he knows, he does know how good he is. It's more of like a solidified thought for them. Whereas, like, for people who like I'm loud, you know what I mean? But I'm loud because it helps me feel like I am.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Whereas, like, Jordan, like, the better he gets, the more internalized how good he is becomes for him. The better he gets, confident he becomes, the more that dog comes out. Because,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect. Yeah, we all got different personalities, and I think we should all do what's best for us. Sometimes we tell Stu, "Hey, Stu, like we want to hear you be more confident." He's like, "Yo, that's not what works for me. Like that's just is not my thing." But I like when Stu gets closer to the show and we're talking like in private. I know I know he has that confidence. Oh shit, he logged out by accident. But I know Stu has that confidence inside. He's just not somebody who he doesn't care to talk about it per se.
I'll say this:
And,
I went to Texas and I hung out with Jordan and Brittany, who is his wife, and my wife came. We hung out there for a couple days. We did a shoot with Mint 45 before Uprising came, and like even behind closed doors, he's like super humble, and it's cool to see that because I always think in my head, like we talked last podcast, like, oh, if you're Olympia or if you were that high caliber, what would you be? I'd be talking shit. I'd be like Brady. I'd be fucking talking some mad shit, just because of the background of coming from football. So I think also your upbringing in your background, if you played sports or not, I think that kind of might solidify some different mindsets as well.
facts, yeah.
Because I feel like Phil Heath, he was a college basketball player. He was an athlete, right, for so many years.
Yeah.
So he had that, like, I'll talk some shit because that's just what people do.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Phil was way more aggressive with his thought, in the gym and on the stage.
Yeah. I love that. Like we talked about last time, I love that, especially when you're that confident, because it's not like you're talking shit about people, but you are just that person that I think maybe I love it because I wish I had that confidence in bodybuilding. I had that confidence in football, but not in bodybuilding. So I think maybe that's why I'm drawn to it.
Facts, and it's also important that you still have to you still have to get the job done, right? Because
Right.
Phil he's winning, right? And before Phil won, before he won his first couple, he was only confident when you ask him a direct question. But he wouldn't really, like let's say like Nate don't doesn't really talk too much. But if I ask you right now, how do you feel? Then he'll talk confidently because the confidence is there. He just don't really talk about it unless you're asking him a direct question, right? So it's like Phil used to be like he wouldn't really say anything, but if you ask him directly, like, how do you think you look? He'll be like, oh, I think I'm gonna win, And then as he started winning more, the I don't know if the confidence goes up or you want to say it more, but you also don't look too good if you're talking about how you're gonna beat everybody and you don't win anything, right? Mm-hmm. So I also think Phil is aware that it doesn't. I mean, I don't mind it either way. I feel like if you feel confident, win, lose, or draw, there's nothing wrong with being confident, right? But publicly, I feel like the fans are gonna talk some shit if you don't play. I mean, look at Nick Walker. I mean, he still won New York, which is the funny part. But people are talking shit like, "Oh, you talking about?" I'm like, the guy still won the show though, right? They made it sound like he lost him. And we talking about Martin here. It's not like Martin is like some, like some fucking fourth in the world. We acting like, oh, but you almost lost to Martin. I'm like, yeah, well, Martin is, he's literally like I would say Martin is the future of the sport. So you can't That's not a knock, right? Is that a knock on somebody?
no.
So and he still won. So Nick don't give a fuck though. Win, lose, or draw. Nick is gonna talk his shit. That's what he's gonna do. And we need. Hey, what are you doing?
I feel like the judges kind of want you to have that kind of attitude, especially when you're on stage and you're displaying your physique. So I mean, you got to look like the winner all the time. Like, guess you're not going to be chosen as the winner.
So, I agree. You see how Keon's mindset changed, right? You see how Keon used to sound like maybe I don't know 3-4 years ago versus now. He never comes off as cocky though, but the way he walks, the way he talks, he walks and talks like Mr. Olympia. But he was doing that the year he won. Before he actually won it that year, you could, if you follow him, you see the shift. His whole mind changed. He was a different person, and I think that's why he won. Even on that stage, the way he was commanding that stage, it was different. Sean had that. Clarita still has that, but it's just that Keon right now is at a different level. But the way he commands the stage, the way he's hitting the poses confidently, effortlessly, he's not shaking everything, bro. So he, you could see the way he talks, the way he had the complete a different way of thinking now. And I think that's important. Yes, the physique has to do the talking, but the way you conduct yourself, like Nate said, I think that makes a big difference. So Samson does it in his own way. Samson is super humble, but he does have a confidence, especially on that stage.
Yeah.
The way he even hits the poses, all that, like he does have a confidence about him. It's just a different way of doing it.
I'll say this: I liked when he peeled it off at the Olympia.
Oh yeah, that is confident.
I miss when people do that. When nobody call each other up.
Nobody does that shit no more.
And I don't know. I feel like maybe it's people might be, and this is just my opinion, but people might be a little too scared of social media or getting a picture that might not be the final product. But also, I do feel like what Alyssa was talking about. It's like WWE wrestling. Get that promo. Get that entertainment out there. Bring the people. Bring that energy. Everyone's just like, no, we'll see you tomorrow night. That's just my opinion. I'm like,
yeah,
like those people that don't post the back shots. Like, dude, I'm posting that before the show. You know what I'm saying? If I have a weak part, I'm posting that before the show.
Listen, I totally agree. I've put this out on my Instagram here and there. I'm like, I love when people put check-ins on Instagram with their shorts on. I'm like, dude, just put the posing trunks on, bro, and let it rip. Like, that's just me. But
everybody's, huh?
No, go ahead.
I don't think everybody's gonna see it on stage, anyways. I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, at some point, if you only post upper body, that's fine to some extent. But at some point, you gotta show. If you're gonna show it, at some point, you don't gotta show your legs every video. But if you post it every day, at some point, you got. You know what I'm saying? Like Brandon doesn't always show his legs, but Brandon's gonna show you his legs. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. It's like you can't hide on stage. So if we gonna show it, we might as well show it.
Because that shows that you lack confidence in your physique. 100%. So when you get on stage, you're going to be lacking that confidence of displaying it if you can't even post on Instagram about it.
What about a side tricep in the off season? Are we allowed not to show that? That's like a forbidden. Cool. We're like, hey, let's just skip that one, right?
Nobody want to see that off season. No, nobody want to see that. You doing everybody a favor.
Guys, they won't even send it to their coach.
No.
It's only your coach seeing it. You can't send that.
Yeah.
I left open just so I didn't have to hit no more side triceps. All right. I was so tired of that bit, so I couldn't take it anymore. I said, I'm going back to class and fuck this shit.
That shit is horrible. Even the quarter turns off season, like the side ones, that shit is high. I'm like, oh man, I don't like that shit at all.
Oh,
that's not fun,
How you doing?
Yeah. Y'all do y'all send quarter turns in your off season? Yeah.
Everything.
That shit is
I actually don't, to be honest with you. Not that I don't want to. It's just when I practice with Joey Bell, we go through them. But in the mornings, because of work, I'm just like, let me hit these. Because I know me, I'll keep looking at the shit. I'll be like, let me do it again. And so I'm just like,
that's what
yeah.
Deep in prep, I become like a nutcase with the pose. I start changing. You start making changes and shit. Like just random. You know what I'm talking about, right? You like, let me hit it like this. Like, damn well you never hit it like that before. Why all of a sudden you start getting in your own head and doing.
You start moving a foot forward, moving a foot back. You're like, I'm gonna swing and then come through. You're like, what the fuck am I doing? Let me hit this shit, bro.
By the time you hit the stage, you got a whole different pose. And you're like, I probably should have just kept it the same. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I actually have clients that they'll not Photoshop. They'll put filters on their check-in pictures. Like, bro, it's a check-in picture. Why this shit got like blue hue to it? It got some fucking, you know what I'm saying? This shit got shadows. I'm like, come on, man. I just want to see that. Just show me the regular picture, but you don't gotta do all that. You know what I'm saying?
Do you guys do check-ins with natural lighting?
Yeah. No, I mean, I usually do one at home, first thing in the morning, but then I'll do one post-workout at the gym where like really good gym lighting, just to get both. I have my clients do that sometimes too, because sometimes the home pictures, once they get really peeled, it doesn't pick up the condition the same. Then I'm like, I know he's leaner because I see more lines in his glutes, but the way there's not enough light to like pick up some of the finer details. So then I want to see them like at the gym too.
Yeah, that's what same. I've been using the same setup since I started competing. The same light, the same tripod, the same location, the same iPhone 8. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see, because I know what I look like when I'm peeled with that setup. So it's like I can't change it.
Yeah,
that's smart. Yeah. Well, if you start changing it too much, sometimes you can't keep up with your own improvements. You don't know where you improved, right? Yeah. If you keep checking in, you want it to be as similar as possible. I would have to agree with that. You know what I'm saying? But filters, I don't mind. I mean, if you do it for Instagram, is one thing. I mean, that's like an ad. But for your coach, no, that's not no ad, bro. That's just we trying to see what you're doing.
Yeah, I guess filters. Because you kind of get discouraged when you see the shit on Instagram, but then when you get on the stage, it's like these guys ain't even peeled. Yeah, I'm more peeled. I don't look like that on Instagram because I'm not savvy with all the tools and stuff.
I think that's the best. I mean, I think it sucks though because we all want to look good on Instagram, and we know some points you're not the best that you could be or whatever. But like when you use those filters, they do make a huge difference. I mean, if I took a picture tonight at Redcon and darkened it, put a little filter, I'd look 5% less, But like, who's that really fooling? I'm fooling myself. But you'll get some Instagram likes, so who fucking cares? It's really weird. I hate Instagram, but we need it.
Yeah. Even like perfect lighting alone, you'll look, especially like, let's say my arms don't hold any fat. Like no matter how fat I get, my arms don't hold any fat. So I'll take a picture like this, right? And they're like, yo, bro, you staying really lean this off you. I'm like, nah, I'm kind of fat. It's just a good picture. Like it is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just a good picture. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, that's my glutes, bro. Like my glutes all year round. Everyone's like, "You're so lean. Your glutes are so." And I'm like, my glutes don't go away. Everything else gets fat, but my glutes. So
exactly. So it's like we got to know that you got to know your own body enough to understand that, to know that you're not lean. You're only as lean as your fattest body part. That's it.
Yeah.
So it took me so long to figure that out because I'm like, yo, let's cut your content. I'm shredded. I'm peeled here. What are we doing? I'm peeled. He's like, nah, look at those hammies, bro. You're not peeled, But it does suck when you have to lose so much pop from everywhere else just to get more lines in the body part. You know what I'm saying? That's not that fun. Because if you're somebody who holds your fat super even, you don't have to do that as much. You know. You ever see like Regan dieting and he distributes his fat perfectly, and you're like, damn, that's why he can compete so heavy, because he distributes that. He's not like super peeled, but it's almost like he doesn't have to be, right? Because he holds everything, you know, he holds the fat like perfectly, and it's like, damn, this guy is, you know what I'm saying?
I think I have the worst spot for fat. I hold like most of my fat. It's not even in my back. It's just like my love handle area.
Oh,
like,
that shit is rough fun.
So it's like one of these things where you can get all the way down, and I'm constantly every day I'm like grabbing my love handle. I'm like, it's going, okay, and you look great, but you're like, I still have to get this off, you know. And it's to the point you're like, do you want to?
Yep.
I guess for me, it's like I've never had shredded glutes, but I've had glute lines, and everything else is fucking good. And it's like, do you want to sacrifice just a little more for the shredded glute, which is like always the conversation of if you're in shape, or do you want to keep the overall look?
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not worth it. Sometimes it's actually not worth it. The only time we see Andrew Jack with peeled glutes was that Arnold that he got third. And I got to be honest, that was not his best look, actually. You know, that was his most peeled look, but I would argue that definitely wasn't his best look, you know. Sometimes, like that Texas look to me, that last year was his best look, you know, by far. And he wasn't his most peeled. He wasn't as peeled as that Arnold, but I think it's a way better look, you know. It's what's the trade-off? You remember Dennis Wolf had two looks. He had like the full look. His glutes never got peeled, but he had that look when he was chasing glute lines, and it would be like a little harder, but he would just look like kind of lanky. That just wasn't, you know, for somebody like that where his glutes didn't want to come in. Dennis was still like what, top four Olympian with not one line in his ass. Not one. But that was the better look. He got them everywhere else, you know? Literally, you know?
Yeah, I would say in the pros, that's where you could kind of do that. In amateur, you can't. You know, you just got to be peeled.
That's the fucked up part, right?
Yeah.
That's the fuck. Because, yeah, for sure, like in the pros, if you have enough shape, symmetry, size, you'll get a pass. In the amateur ranks, they don't give a fuck about all that. That peeled guy with no genetics a lot of times beats the guy with the genetics for sure. You know, they want to make sure you can get in shape before you even turn pro. You know, and so that's why you see some amateurs are better amateurs than pros, and some pros are better pros. Like Samson is a better pro than he was an amateur, right? You're like because he's not, you know. And then you have someone like they're really young, like a Cody Montgomery, just coming in peeled, and they'll destroy. I mean, he won the overall at the USA's. He beat some really better bodybuilders, but he had better condition and clean lines, right? Imagine the pro ranks. He's not beating those guys in the pro ranks, like with all due respect, you know, just because it becomes a size and structure things that, you know, so, you know, it's a different game. In the amateur range, I would always err on the side of being flat. You come in flat at the pro show, it might be over. Unless you're 300 pounds, it's over for you. You can't give up that fullness, you know. So,
that's what I talked to Dom Cardone about this year, because I just started working with him, and I was like, hey man, don't get me fat in the off season. I was like, because if we get too far, like it's too much, you know. So I just told him I just want to be fucking 100% that, like, for once, you know, when you've never been 100%, you've always been here, there, you're just like, fuck man, I can't, what's the right look? I told him, just get me shredded this year, like fuck everything else. I mean, I have those white boy flat genetics anyways. Like I go I'm like, I'm fucking, I can get dry, but I have no crazy pop. Like, so
Yeah.
it's a balance between like filling up or being shredded. I'm like, fucking go shredded, because every time I look at nationals or any big show, it's always being shredded, like you guys said.
That's all it is. That's what.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes you see like the winners and the people talk shit. Like, where's the genetics? But like, they're not giving the genetic people the overalls. They're giving the people who are just peeled and peaked. And a lot of times I think people think there's no genetics out there, but there are. They're just not usually winning the overall. They turn pro and then they kind of take off, because the genetic people usually after they turn pro is when they take off. But you watch some of the amateur overalls, you're like, huh, okay, but it's just a different game altogether. If you think about all the best amateurs that never turned pro, the greatest amateurs that ever turned pro in history, they all have the same thing in common. They had a lot of size, crazy muscle bellies, proportions, but they weren't peeled. That's about it, right? That's usually the name of the game. So if you're amateur, get peeled. I know Joe. Joe was like, because he was trying to make heavyweight. He lost so much muscle and was flat. And he still went overall because it actually worked in his favor because he was so peeled. But me seeing him 6 weeks out, I know that he was he lost a lot, but it worked out because Janicki was big. Janicki was big. So if he played that game, Janicki might have got him.
Yeah.
So Janicki's impressive, man. He's impressive. I'll for sure say that. And he's lean. He just doesn't distribute the fat like completely even, like the hams and glutes. He kind of built like a black guy. He got the really round muscle bellies, the round arms, round shoulders, but in the hams and glutes, that's that area. That shit don't like us. That shit don't like us. It's not.
I wish I had that.
Oh yeah. But that's the thing. The grass is always greener, right? Because I'm thinking, I wish I just had like lines in my glutes, but you can't.
Yeah, that's starting prep with lines.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
The guys that have it all, I could think Ronnie had the fullness with the glute lines, and
but
Phil
Ronnie
had
didn't
that.
always, but it took, bro. Ronnie didn't have those lines in his glutes and like through his backside for years.
You're right.
But
yeah,
that wasn't something that like
right out the gate.
Even when you look at Sean Clarita, it took him like a long time of like growing and
to develop that,
staying conditioning, like keeping his conditioning really good in the off season to get to like where he's at now. Like,
very true. Very true.
you know what I mean?
If you see Sean's off seasons, 8-10 years ago versus now, he looks like he's 6 weeks out now off season. Yeah. Back in the days, Sean used to get like pretty like chubby, bro. Yeah. From what I heard, he didn't have off season. He was doing the Jose Raymond, just eat whatever you want type shit. And that's a slippery slope. You don't want to. Not everybody could do that shit.
I mean, listen, we can all do it. We'll all grow to some capacity. You take gear and eat food, you're going to grow. That said, when you have to lose 70 or 80 pounds in prep, don't cry about it.
Yeah, well, and then also when you have to diet that hard for that long, sometimes you end up losing a lot of that look, right? Because you have to crash down so hard. So you got to be careful with that,
But hey, I just want to say thank you for having me on. I got I'm to the fun part of my lift now, so I got to lock in. And
of course, bro, you already know, champ.
Yeah, my bad. I thought you meant tomorrow when I said yes, but I really appreciate you having me on. I'll come on next week. All right.
All right, bet. Yeah. If you're free Sunday too, I'll send you a link.
All right, Brady.
Oh yeah, we probably do Sunday. We'll see you guys. Be safe.
All right, bro.
You too.
I want to say Compton, bro. Compton had the best of both worlds. Compton had the lines, the deep lines, but that motherfucker was so full, bro. He was so fucking round. It's insane, bro.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see what that guy looked like in his 30s. Like, I mean, he still looks crazy right now, but like as a pro bodybuilder in his 30s, once he got that maturity, bro, that would have
he would look nuts.
that would have looked insane. He did a great job without a coach, but I still think if he had that set of eyes, it would have helped him out. I'm sure if I asked him that, he'll probably agree. Just not even a coach, just an extra set of eyes, just at that last couple of days, because sometimes he would, when he was flat, he would look like he spilled over, which is kind of is strange. But when you would see like his abs disappear, he wasn't spilled. He was actually flat. It was just people have different looks. So he was actually coming in flat, as crazy as that sounds. He didn't look flat to us, but he was actually coming in flat. So if he had somebody like, yo, it's okay, bro, you got the metabolism, you could eat, go ahead. I mean, as crazy as he looked, I think he would have looked even crazier. Because you see those 4 weeks out pictures, he was already peeled. He didn't have no fat to lose. He's just so big and round. He probably thought he needed to come down, because like, no way I could be this fucking big. I gotta, I gotta come down some more. I'm too fucking big. But shout out.
That's what I kind of need help with, is because I've been doing like the last 3 shows myself, but like I just can't figure out my perfect combination of fullness, and I feel like I dig too deep at the end, and then I can't dig myself out of it to fill up for the show. And I feel like, because I'm always bigger like 4 weeks, 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out, then I'm just like the last 2, I'm just like, then it's like I feel like everything starts ramping. You got the clean in, you got the trend in, you got all this stuff, and it's just like, now I'm out of control. And then I'm feeding it, then it's burning even hotter. It's like, but that's why I was like, this time I'm a try a coach.
Because you have a similar thing where that you'll look peeled everywhere. Your entire body is peeled, besides the glutes, right? Yeah. Only the glutes. And then what happens is, okay, you want to bring your glutes in. It doesn't have to look like Lunsford, but you want to bring it in. So now you're like, I got to do enough to bring it in. But what happens, like you just said, is now it gets carried away, and then you just start getting flat, right? So it's like, okay, my glutes came in 10% more, but now I done lost all of this crazy shit, right? Because if you see Nate's arms and shoulders, that shit looks stupid. But then by that time,
I gotta follow you, Nate.
Huh?
Yeah, I gotta follow you, Nate. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't know who you are, and you don't know who I am. So we're going into this blind.
Yeah, no, he all of this shit is crazy, bro. So it's like now you're starting to lose that just to get like 5% more glutes. So it's like when you're in that, how would you really figure that out when you 4 weeks out? You don't even have the brain capacity. Yeah, doing it yourself. You don't even have the brain capacity to like, what am I doing here? Am I going to keep coming down? Yeah, let me get more lines. Now you're losing this. Okay, let me fill this out. Now you lose your glutes. It's like it's a battle that's hard to win.
I think at that point I'm not even looking at anything else. I'm already looking at the glutes and hams. Like, do I see one more line? I'm trying to get one more line, and I'm just like, now what else did I destroy?
That's why it starts to become a lose-lose battle, because you have to get more glute lines, but at the same time, if you lose the rest, then you're fucked either way. So then now it's a game of push pull that you can't seem to get the upper hand on. But let me pull up.
Yeah, that's what I do from. That's why I wanted to get with Justin, because I heard him talking like that with Joe, doing that USA prep, where he just figured out like he wasn't getting any better. So he decided just to keep, feeding them.
Yeah. Which is the most recent? This is the most recent? Oh, no, it's not recent.
That's prep. I don't have anything on there recent.
Yeah.
I kind of fell off for a little bit from like November till now.
Yeah.
I just been back on for like 2 weeks.
What do you? So right now you in off season?
Nah, I'm slightly in prep.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we started it, but I didn't tell anybody I was doing the show.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, like from the front here. I mean, you don't got no body fat. You're not holding any body fat at all. You know, that's the hard part, man. Unfortunately, but everybody's gonna have their set of issues they got to deal with. You know, it's one or the other. So nobody's gonna have like a perfect, easy. I'm sure somebody does, but most people aren't gonna have like just get lean, get on stage, and you beat everybody, right? It's gonna be like, oh, how much do I pull or push, you know? And then, but that specific circumstance probably brings the most difficulties for myself and clients as well. You know, how much am I willing to give attention to his glutes versus the rest of his fucking body? You know, so
I feel like I got a little bit of lines right now. So I think this year will be better. So
yeah,
and I feel like Justin will have me looking. I'm eating more red meat than I usually do, so I feel like I'm a little fuller from that. And I'm not the biggest starting prep, but I started at 280. So
that's pretty good. You know, that's pretty good.
That's so big, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm kind of like almost ready to tap out because I'm like, man, how do these people walk around at 300 pounds?
Yeah. Would y'all agree that there's almost no problem that more muscle can't fix? Beside like you already big as fuck with like a wide waist. Anything other than that, right? But even conditioning, the more muscle you have, you can get more conditioned, right?
Right.
You know, yeah. So it's like I feel like when you have more muscle, like we just talk about like Sean Clarita, he didn't have the glutes that he has now, but I don't think he had enough muscle in his glutes to even get that look. You know?
So funny, I think that is my biggest problem, and that's why I've been hammering my glutes this year, is to try to actually, you know, nobody wants to sit there and do hip thrusts and all these girly workouts. But at the end of the day, some shit does work, you know.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think that's been my biggest issue. And I think it might be just a genetic component too. You know, some people don't get feathered quads, and their quads are striated, or excuse me, I should say lean without the feathers. So it's,
you can tell when it's genetic, right? Like let's say like a Lunsford. I haven't, or like a Hottie. I've never seen a show, no matter how young they were, that Derek didn't have crazy peeled glutes or that Hottie didn't have a crazy striated chest. But for some people, if you look at Compton, he didn't have those peeled glutes. So like we talk about Sean or Ronnie. So it's like something they had to work for. Like they really trained the shit out of glutes, right? Or Justin Wyatt. Have you seen his glute training? It's like a quad day, you know.
My wife has been like hammering my ass lately, you know, like well, I gotta be careful how to say that.
Yeah, pause.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck, man. I don't know. Hey, we're 2025 now, so I don't know. But she's been helping me because, and I didn't train glutes. That shit's gay. Who the fuck wants to have fucking? Who wants to do that? You know,
it's not fun. It's not fun. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's not even something that crosses your mind. Like let's say your first show, right? My first show, I actually stopped squatting because I didn't want my ass to get too big. Imagine me thinking some stupid shit like that, right? And then at the time I used to bounce, and I remember I was at work, and then some girl was like, "Yo, you got no ass," like literally. I'm like, why the fuck would you say that? So I'm like, is this true? What am I talking about? On stage, my trunks was like hanging off my ass, bro. No fucking glutes, nothing there. You know, so you don't even think about it till you realize that, oh, this shit is really a glute show. Like nobody who gets into bodybuilding thinking this shit is a glute show. You know, it don't even cross your fucking mind. I'm like, who cares about that shit? But then it's important. I mean, it's a huge part of the game. They judging your entire body, bro.
You kind of got to train them like calves. You know, like do it when you first get into the gym because you're probably not going to do it after.
Man. Shit. I those calves, man, you know. I'm a little tired at the end of that workout to get in there, man. Calves, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, when I was in Brooklyn, at one point I was going to Fifth Avenue gym when Kai was going there. And then later on, I was going to retro, and Kai was there as well, right? And he would train glutes, bro. I mean, he did this for every body part. He would do a lot of volume, but the way he trained glutes, I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? I mean, this guy is being weird. Kai being weird. He being a weirdo. Why are you training glutes so hard, right? But you got to keep in mind, if you watch a younger Kai Green, he didn't have that crazy detail there. So sometimes you gotta work your ass off for it. You know, no pun intended.
Literally, yeah.
You know, you can't just give up and say, I don't got those, you know, glutes. You got to try. You got to do something to try to get it, you know. And if you pay attention, some of these people actually had to really work hard to get that detail. You know, it's just not fun to be training glutes for 30 minutes.
I mean, just like arms, you know, like I had lagging arms, but remember I sent you that picture? I was like,
yeah.
I don't care. I'll talk about it. It doesn't matter to me. But you know, I was Nate. Just so you know, I mean, I messed around and I used some SEO to try to enhance my arms because at a certain point there was literally nothing was happening. You know, and you get to the point you do get frustrated and you might think that might help, and it did help. But I don't know if you could do too much, but you can always do too much if that makes sense. Then I start thinking crazy. I'm like, I should put this in my outer sweep. I don't know how that would work. You know, you start thinking like fucking really crazy. You're like, man, I just have these.
I had a coach that advised me to shoot my outer sweeps.
Really?
Yeah, I tried it, but I mean that's just too painful, man. Like I'm just not gonna have legs. Like,
I think for legs, my fault. Go ahead.
No. I just feel like I'll shoot my gear in my quads. It's not fun because I have patella tendon issues. So once my quad gets tight, it just pulls up. So I try to limit that. But I don't know how SEO oil would work. And like, oh god,
no, dude, it was like because I was doing like something light, like 6 cc's like each leg, like, and he was like, man, these people are doing way more than that, man, you got to step it up. And I'm just like,
well, I mean he's right. I mean I do know people who do that. From my experience, it's so temporary for quads or for quads. The rest of the body, I've seen some like permanent. There was one prep where I shot my arms with gear, but it was only literally one prep, and I felt like those gains never left. Like I've never had an issue with arms like after that prep. You know, whatever. I mean, I don't know how much scar tissue you could accrue in one prep, but I must have had a lot of, you know, something. It worked for me personally, but with quads, it's so temporary. If I pin gear my quads, I'm like, damn, my quads look good today. And then 2 days later, I'm like, oh, now it looks extra shitty because I see my sweep swollen 2 days ago. Now it's all flat. And I'm like, oh, fuck out of here and shit.
Yeah, so I was just so tight, like you were saying, like I just felt like I was gonna tear something training. So I'm like, this ain't even gonna be worth it. Like I just needed more time training my legs. I didn't need that enhancement. Like I needed more time because I was like, I haven't been bodybuilding that long. So I'm like, what am I trying to you know?
Legs is one of those things that the best way, I do think SEOs have a place if you have the best way for it to be used is if you have genetically weak arms as far as size.
Yes.
But the insertions are still decent. Cause if the insertions aren't there, then it can start to look, if you overdo it, it'll look weird.
So my triceps are really high. Like my insertion points they're just high. So it's kind of like, yeah, it works, but they still look shitty because just how they are.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing I noticed. So there's I don't know if I should say names, but I feel like people would already know. But I kind of don't want to say names.
I think I might know who you're talking about. Yeah.
There's one. He's retired now. I feel like it's okay to say if they're retired, right? I think it's okay.
Yeah.
So let's say Max Charles. I don't think he's ever said it publicly out of his own mouth. But everybody knows. Like everybody from the East Coast, though. I'm pretty sure everybody. Even Steve Weinberger said something. I think Steve Weinberger was like, he didn't want to say it in a mean way. He was like, I told Max to relax with the shoulders and arms. That's how he said it. He didn't say stop training it. He said relax with it, which and then Max actually stopped. Like later in his career, it wasn't that, bro. This dude tricep used to do this, bro. Like it was great, but I can't lie. It didn't look. It looked kind of fake, but it still looked impressive. It looked. I want to say it looked good. Even though it's kind of like I don't know if tricep dudes do that shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's a little pointy over there.
Well, but the thing is, Max. Actually, he never had bad arms though. To begin with, he just wanted more. But he had good insertions, so it was able to look. I don't know if I remember him at his prime, but his arms and shoulders were fucking crazy. Crazy.
I always have a picture of Max Charles with like a red or blue like Yankee hat on, flat bill with like a white beater and like like that's what I think about him.
Yeah.
That was literally his thing. But he would be in the gym with Tim's on.
Yeah. My goddamn feet would be killing me.
His front was cool too.
Insane. I haven't seen this dude. I don't even know if he's still on social media. I haven't seen this dude in a minute. But his shit was. Let me see if I could share this. Max was insane. Yeah, this is the condition. Even the condition. He had crazy lines in his chest. You know what I'm saying? His arms didn't have a ton of detail, but like not bad though. It didn't look like puffy or nothing. It still looked, still looked good. Shoulders are crazy, biceps crazy. Let me see. Let's see if I can get another one. At his prime, bro, there was an Arnold he did that he got robbed, bro. That Arnold, he was insane, bro. I can't remember the year. Let me see.
Have you ever heard? I think it was an old RX Muscle interview with him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I drink a 2 liter of Coke a day."
Yeah.
And I just eat rice and beans, and I was like, "What?" Like
he also said that for most of his career he was eating 1 meal a day, but he didn't specify it because he worked with Milos toward the end, and Milos said like it's technically 1 meal because it's in one bowl, but like he's trying to combine like 3 meals, and he'll just graze on it through the day. That just seemed like a horrible way to do it, but. He used to work like a job, right? So at work, he wasn't able to just keep pulling meals out, so he would just keep going back. So I get it, but he still was under eating, like compared for people. But he was 300 pounds, obviously. So he just didn't need a lot of food to grow, But he was just grazing on 1 meal all day. And
when you got it. Oh fuck, man.
Yeah, he said he had no appetite. He tried everything. He just couldn't eat more food. But I mean. I guess he didn't really need. He was pretty big. I mean, I think he was good on the food, probably. But he had good insertion. So SEOs work best for people like that. If you have, I have like short biceps, kind of short triceps, so it started to look funky. I thought it looked funky.
If your arms look great. Your arms look great. I mean, you look big. You're big. Like it fits you. When you look at yourself, sometimes you're like, that doesn't fit on my body. Why is this? You're like,
yeah.
That's why I started using it. But that shit's annoying as fuck too. After a while,
yeah,
you got to be a man.
It's just like taking it before you train. You got to bring it with you, and you got to make sure. And then like, how many times a week you gonna? I'm like, oh, what the fuck, man? Like, I pin myself enough. I don't need to fucking,
I feel like you got to be in your 20s to have that kind of commitment to shots. Like I feel like we can't be bothered to pin that much, bro. It's like, nah, it's not that serious, Like I remember trying to pin my calves for a while, and I don't got that amount of fire in me to be putting no calves, bro.
That's I'm just gonna not have them,
bro. Hey, fuck it. I wear high socks. Right?
Straight up. And I mean, everybody don't got good calves. I mean, I could say a lot of the top guys don't have good calves. It's just more of a mental thing for us. You want to be able to rock shorts and shit, you know?
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, I wear like, you know, the best way to hide your calves is wear some Air Forces with some like higher Nike socks. It just makes everything look bigger.
It does, you know. But the pain of that, the discomfort of that, bro, it's not anybody who could do that. I don't know how the fuck you can do that shit, because that shit. I used to have blood just squirt out of that shit. Like it was just horrible, bro. And for me, it was gear, because gear is the only thing that can motivate me enough, because I have to pin the gear somewhere. Yeah. You know, if I had to do SEOs, I couldn't get myself to fill up a syringe with SEOs and do it. It was, I got to shoot my gear somewhere, so let me just pin calves. And even that, I can't.
That's why it's hard, like, you know, fucking around with like the peptide sites when they send like the pump product, and it's like, I don't want to shoot this before I train. Like, I already shoot the gear in my shoulders. I'm training shoulders. I'm not trying to shoot more liquid. You know, you just get to the point. You're like, dude, I can't even take this shit.
Yeah. I was actually doing that for a while. I was doing the injectable pump products. Yeah. And it worked great. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But like you said, I'm like, bro, this is a lot of shots, man. I can't keep up.
And then my dumbass is like, well, if I'm gonna shoot this, why don't I just do the SEO oil? Because I know it's gonna stay. You know? So.
Yeah, it's too much. But all right, let's see what's going on. Arnold is this weekend. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna run.
All right, bet.
I'm gonna go train Sunday. I'm ready for you guys. All right, so you let me know. I'll be here.
All right, bro. All right, you already know, bro.
Yes, thank you, Nate. Nice meeting you, and I will give you a call later on. Okay, brother.
All right. Sure. Yeah, I'll look you up too.
Okay, brother. Thank you. See you guys.
Yes, sir. And there were two left.
Yeah.
Let's see what. Let's get your Arnold predictions. Let me see. Let me pull up the. I'm sure you know the lineup, but sometimes it's better to look at it.
Yeah.
To get let me see. Because at this point, maybe Arnold Sports. Yeah, so everybody has the same top three, but wait, is it the right one? Everybody got the same top three, but it's really everywhere else that starts to get interesting.
Yeah, deeper in the lineup.
Yeah. What is it? Sport Arnold Classic? I forgot the Arnold Classic. Let me see. Arnold Sports Festival. There's a page that got the right.
Yeah, I'm looking at the sports on my end. I'm like, I don't see the list though.
They probably take it off now,
or it's just deep. It's deep down there.
Yeah, it might be deep. Okay, let me actually look. Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be somewhere. All right, getting closer. Yeah, because they had it pinned, but I guess the show is coming up, so they unpinned it. Let me see. But who would your top five be? I feel like you'll be able to remember the top five.
Well, you got Derek. Mm-hmm. You got Samson.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna say Andrew in there.
Andrew.
It's Carlos.
Yeah.
You got Curry. All right, so this is a lineup. Okay. Yeah, you got Bonac, Curry. Curry actually just posted something, didn't he? Let's see.
Yeah, I'm a Curry fan because I feel like I got a similar physique. Like I like pretty looking physiques. So
me too. Yeah, me too. You realize that you notice that everybody's a little bit biased to their physique. If you notice, and anybody who talks about physique, you notice like the mass monsters, like them. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. You can't help but to do it. Like his physique appeals to me personally. I've always thought Curry had an insane physique.
Yeah. Even if he's not, winning with the criteria, like I think he won like this Lou Ferrigno back in the day, and I was like, man, he just had a sick physique, but it wasn't like gonna win the Olympia back then. But that Olympia winning physique looked great.
Exactly. But he posted something.
Because I just don't like to look like anything. Like some people, they just get big regardless, and I'm like, that's not really what I wanted to do.
It's not appealing at all. It's not appealing at all. I mean, like
they doing with the best with what they got. They just don't got that kind of shape, Well, I'm gonna assume they're doing the best because some people just be lifting. They don't really care. But
I mean, a lot of people, they shouldn't even be bodybuilding. But if I feel like it's a genetic type of thing, like in the past, like we had way better physiques than some of the blocky stuff that we have now, and
because you know what it was. I think those people just never turned pro, right?
Yeah,
like the people who didn't have the shape and muscle bellies. Because you could say Dorian didn't have good shape compared to Sean Ray, but Dorian's shape was not, especially when you look at him when he was smaller. I mean, his waist he had a good waist, he had a good V taper, he had good sweeps. It's just more so he got big and got injured more than anything, right? Yeah. But like you wouldn't even make it to the pro ranks back then if you didn't have some aesthetics to you. You just didn't.
Yeah, I don't put Dorian in that class. I feel like he still had a pretty good looking.
Yeah, no, it's just who we comparing him to. If we compare the motherfucker to Sean Ray and Flex Wheeler, nobody looks aesthetic compared to them.
Yeah, but those were nuts. Yeah, that's why I got into bodybuilding. That look, I'm like, I want to look like that.
Me too. Yeah, this will be like the Samson and Curry are like the modern version of that because it is a different look. Like we talked about, you can't be like peeled and flat anymore. You got to be full and round and shit. So they have those physiques, just the new age version of it. They demand you to be like you see how Curry is fucking round as shit.
Yeah.
They demand you to be like this. So they just because when Curry was smaller, he wasn't getting his place, and so they kind of forced him to have a different look. But he still carries it really well. That's that's why genetics are important because you take a physique and you add muscle to it, some of them look worse, right? Yeah. Some of them, like Curry, I think he actually looks better. He doesn't look less aesthetic to me, actually, at least.
Yeah. I mean, the knock on him is just they want him a little bit tighter, but I feel like he's tight enough. Like I feel like he has a similar type of condition, probably even more than Samson.
Yes, some of his looks. Yeah, I agree with that. Hey, you know how they talk about his leg? I think at one point his legs were behind. Honestly, but I don't think his legs are behind anymore. I think he's wide as shit. But I don't look at his legs as weak. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, me either. And I mean, there might be like a little bit
the discrepancy.
Yeah, but I kind of like that. That gives me like the old school, like Lee Haney type of look, like where legs weren't. I like that look where the legs aren't blown out. Like,
yeah, because it's like who are you comparing his aesthetics to? If you compare him to like Hadi or Ramy when he was going up against them, yeah, but they're bottom heavy, and that's actually, like you said, that's actually not like that appealing of a look, right? To be bottom heavy, from my point of view at least. I think you want a balance, but you do want that dominant arms and shoulders. I think look better than having a dominant quads. They have to be big enough, and I think obviously, I mean, if he won Mr. Olympia, his legs are big enough. If you can't win Mr. Olympia with small legs, right? So it's one of those
things. I feel like his legs are comparable to or better than Derek's.
I think, I think because Derek, the way that Derek, I mean, if you see Derek 6 weeks out, his legs are big, but on stage, I think I think Brandon has bigger legs than Derek. I mean, I don't think that's a controversial thing to say.
Nah.
You know, this was last year.
18 weeks ago.
Yeah. The issue last year, I felt sometimes it's hard to tell, but I felt like he wasn't as tight as usual, so it made him not actually. He didn't actually look as big neither. You know, but only he knows what happened. But this right here is crazy as well.
Yeah,
anyways, let me go back to the okay. So, what's your top 5 looking like?
Samson, Derek, Andrew, I would say Curry, Bonac.
So you got Curry over Bonac, right?
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna get him this time, but like at the Olympia, Bonac got him. So
that's the thing. Sometimes we use bodybuilding math. Like, well, if you beat him at the Olympia, that means he's gonna beat him at the Arnold, but that's not true. That don't really, So me personally, I have Curry ahead of Bonac. I think part of it is probably because I prefer his physique over Bonac, if I'm being honest. But also, I mean, Curry usually beats Bonac. You know, last year at the Olympia he didn't, but I could make the argument for Curry being a little higher last year at the Olympia. Honestly, you know, he wasn't like, come on, he wasn't that off. He wasn't his best, but he wasn't that off. You know, he was just fourth the year before. You know.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But I could see that.
But yeah, after the top 5, I'm like, nah. I mean, I always like Hakeem.
Hakeem. Carlos, this is where it gets hard, right? We talking about Hakeem. We got Hollingshead. We got Carlos. John isn't doing it. We got Clarita. They all have their strengths and weaknesses, and they all can beat each other. I honestly believe Hakeem could beat all of them. I believe James could beat all of them. I believe Clarita could beat all of them, and I believe Carlos could beat all of them. You know, it's just, well, who's the most consistent out of those guys? Probably Clarita, but he's also he's also small. He's also a lot smaller.
That's what I'm like. Yeah, I didn't understand how he won that one time. At the Legion.
Well, because it's tough, right? Because if we disregard structural size, then he beats a lot of these guys. But structural size isn't something that you could just throw away, you know, because Steve Weinberger said is judged. He said structural size is judged. So I mean, it has to be. So that's the part where it makes it difficult. You know, pound for pound, he could beat any one of them. It's just that he's so much smaller than them. You know, so he did beat Bonac at the Arnold's 2 years ago. That was when he got 5th. He placed behind Ramy. So I mean, he can beat them, but Bonac was a bit off.
Yeah, he's doing a little bit better since he's with Boss, but yeah, it's still a little bit, couple years down the road.
You think Carlos can beat Hakeem if they're both on?
I don't think so.
Like going by what we've seen from them already, no, he doesn't beat Hakeem. But do you think if he comes in Hakeem's kind of condition that he could beat Hakeem?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the back's there.
Yeah. That's he's
his kind of weakness is the back double by. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like he still has a lot of other stuff in the back too. So it's like,
yeah.
What does Carlos have? I don't remember off the top of his head his hamstrings and his glutes. But I mean, he looks awesome right now. But that's one of the guys I'm like, just throw that photo up, man. Like, because I think he's in Ohio right now already, and he posted just another front shot that looking nutty. But it's like, just turn around, give us the preview.
He's the most unknown and the biggest wild card, because if he comes with something that we've never seen before, he could jump over a lot of them. You know, I mean, he's probably going to be the person I'm most excited to see, because he could completely shock a lot of people, or he could kind of just come, you know, kind of like normal, you know.
Yeah, but I wish he does good. You know, I hope he does good. Yeah, because I mean, we need new blood.
And just the potential for how good he can be is insane. Because to have a waist like that, with quads like that, and arms like that, I don't think I've ever seen that proportion on anybody. It doesn't even look real. It doesn't even look real. You know, if I didn't know him and he wasn't a pro, and I saw his pictures, I would think it was Photoshop. That's how. But some people thought it was Photoshop until they posted the video. I remember he posted his coach posted a front double, and a lot of people were saying Photoshop, and he posted a video, and the video looked even better than the fucking picture.
Yeah,
so I was like, damn, that's really him. Yeah. Now, do you think James can beat Akeem if he's 100%?
Possibly, because I just seen some James updates. I think he's in Ohio already too, and it was looking good, but it looked like one of his quads he couldn't just lock it down. I don't know if that was just right now or if he has like a little injury or something. Yeah, but his back double by looked pretty good too. I'm like, that would be a good match.
Akeem has been, out of all those guys, after the top guys, he's been the most consistent at bringing a really good package. He doesn't always get the nod, but he brings it. And so if you're betting and you want to go with the best odds, Akeem would be a really good bet, because we know he's going to be in shape. We know he's going to be big. We know he's going to bring that. Which is funny, because early on in his career, he was known for being inconsistent. Remember?
Yeah, out of shape.
yeah, exactly, man. And then now he's known for being on. Like, you know, even when they say, "Oh, well, he's better at finals," motherfucker, he's still on the prejudging. Even if he's better at finals, he's in shape. He didn't just magically get in shape in one day. Like, that motherfucker's in shape.
Yeah, they said that they didn't even do anything.
Exactly. I got to be honest. I mean, is he a little tighter? Yes, but I don't think it's that bad. I think he just gets a little overlooked sometimes prejudging, because he's on. He's definitely on.
Yeah.
But I hope he does well. All right.
Yeah, shoot. Chris Cito got a few guys, because I think he still works with Cito. Then Andrew and Derek. Well,
if you give Cito
Patrick Moore.
Yeah, you're right. If you give Cito a big body with a good amount of muscle, even if they're not in shape, he'll get them in shape, and he won't bring them in flat. So he'll bring you in. You know, that's basically his offseason. He says, "Don't get too fat." That's what his offseason protocol is, and he's right. If you can get big enough and go to Cito, he'll bring you in on point. You know, the only time you see an issue with, let's say with Patrick just hasn't really got big enough to really like translate to that next level. But he'll bring you in. So Akeem was the perfect guy for him. Big body. Yeah, big body, and he came to him and he got him on point. You know. All right. I think that's everybody. Well, what do you think about Justin Rodriguez? You think he has any shot at moving back up, or he's on the downswing?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's gonna be let me see.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't even know who he's working with. And so it seems like he just wants to do what he wants to do. So
You
It's
know the
probably
East Coast guys. The East Coast guys, they like to be secretive with the with the coaches. They like to keep
yeah,
it
because
low.
he was working with Jacoby.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
because
that was the last one.
his best look for sure was with uh cement factory.
Because I think he really has to put in some decent work to get back to where he is, and he might have to take a step back a little bit to do it. And so, but he keeps on jumping in shows. So, but I kind of understand that at the age that he's at.
Yeah. He also has kids. I don't think people know about his private life like that, but he does have a family, and he has kids to attend to. That could I don't want to say a distraction because it's the
Oh
kids,
yeah,
but
oh,
but
it's
it's definitely
100%
not.
a distraction sometimes, especially if you got a baby mom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's like
if
shoot.
if he's from the Bronx, he might have a couple of baby mothers.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to deal with that and the kid.
Yeah, so that's it's gonna be tough. Hopefully he's making decent money from the sport though, because he
Yeah,
has a
yeah,
family
because
to feed.
he might be older than me.
I think so. Yeah, but I've known Justin since I was like 18, bro. When because I was that's when I was working out at Washington Heights, and he was just a big He didn't even speak English back then. I mean, I could barely communicate with him, but he was just a big body. He looked like a power lifter, just a big ass dude. But like he was kind of fat, like not fat, but he had a lot of body fat. And I would ask, when are you gonna compete? And he was like, I don't know, I'm not really into that. And then fast forward, by that time I wasn't in the Bronx at the time, and I see him on stage. I'm like, wait, what? He beat Boston because I was following Boston at the time. He's like, who that? Boston like, yo, some freak came out of nowhere and won the show. I'm like, let me see. I'm like, I know that dude. That's the motherfucker got lean as hell. Oh shit. Then he turns pro and then he was right into the scene like that, just like overnight. You know. So yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
he had a good
if
run.
huh?
I think he had a good run. I'm like, I
He
think
did. He had a great one, especially for somebody who got into the sport later and nobody thought he was going to do anything in the sport. He almost beat Bonac at the fucking Boston show. I mean,
yeah,
that's impressive. Yeah. So my point was, if I was 18 and he was a grown man, he's I'm about to be 33, so he got to be at 40 plus for sure.
yeah.
I would assume he gets 40 plus. You know, but shout out Justin. I want to see everybody do well, man. It's just that's just not how it goes. But I would love to see him make a comeback. You know, like I said, he started the sport late, so I don't feel like it looks like his body is getting beat down, but he hasn't been competing long enough for me to think that his body is just tapped out. If he could get with somebody who's known to maybe Boss seems to be good at bringing people back from maybe like a little descent. That could
Yeah.
be he got too many damn clients right now though, but
Yeah. I mean, it's probably this, like, if he switches his training up a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like I'm making improvements. Is just like I can't train the same way, and it takes longer for me to warm up, and a little bit longer on the recovery.
I think that's what's hard for people to do as they get older. They don't want to accept the fact that their body isn't 20 anymore, right? So you have to change. You can't do the same shit. Your recovery is, you know what I'm saying? So, and his body looks like a body that's just not recovering. And like you said with the shows, you can't, if you're in your 40s, you want to try not to be doing 7 shows a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You gotta.
yeah,
So
especially if you're using all the whole stack. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. I think if he got into a situation where he could compete a little bit less and maybe not train as hard. He trains pretty hard. I've seen him train. Not train as frequent. Let your body recover. You might need to take some months off of just training in general. Gear, obviously, you might have to take a break, like a legit break. Like, don't even touch your weight, kind of shit. Just let your body recover. And because Bonak did do that, I heard Bonak took some good time off, and his body kind of snapped back to life.
Yeah. Sometimes you're forced like that. That was me from November to January. Like I just had too much life stuff going on, and I was like, I couldn't even get to the gym, but once a week maybe at that. So, but I feel like it popped back pretty quick. Like I don't look too bad. But
yeah. That's the thing. If you're gonna come back fast, and I think you're gonna look better for it because you're gonna exactly.
Yeah, but that's what he needs to do. But sometimes your life makes you go that way, or sometimes you got to do it yourself. Like
exactly.
Pull the plug. Like I got to pull the plug, man.
Yeah.
You down? Get fresh.
But okay, but also I think, like you said, I think when you're older, you're afraid you're gonna run out of time, so then you want to keep going. But sometimes that's the worst thing you can do, right? Because you don't have the liberty to just keep going through through like and not letting your body recover. Also, so sometimes you have to take a step back in order to get the best out of your later years competing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I get the pressure that he has because that's how I felt. Because I'm like, I kind of messed up my off season, and I'm like, man, I got to do a show. When could I do a show? And I'm just like, and I hit up Justin. I'm like, man, like, because some of the coaches, they don't want to, like, if you don't have that proper off season, they don't even want to dabble with it, the prep and stuff like that. But he was cool. He was open to it.
Justin is more flexible. He's more worried about what you want to do, more so than him. Some coaches are like, nah, I'm not gonna prep you because I don't want you to make me look bad, type shit. But it's like, it should really be about the athlete more than anybody, right?
Yeah, especially if you're paying.
Exactly. Yeah. Some coaches don't. Some coaches are like, I don't want to judge anybody because I get it's your business. But some coaches, they rough, bro. Some coaches, like, they'll straight up say, I don't want to work with you. Type. Like, I'm not working. I've never heard Justin turn somebody down unless, one client that was, like, accused of some fucked up shit. That's a little different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Justin will never say, I don't think your genetics are good enough. I'm not going to work with you. Like, that's kind of...
I wouldn't do that either. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of... I think maybe there's situations like let's say Hani a few years ago, he just physically couldn't. He had too much going on. That could be different. If you say, hey, or like boss around, like, yo, I have too many clients right now. I'm sorry, But for you to just say, nah, I refuse to work with you because I just don't think you good enough. That's kind of that's. I don't think
you can't have that much money. Like, you just turning down clients now. Like,
I think that just sends a really bad message. Now you could be honest. If the person is telling you, "Yo, can you make me Mr. Olympia?" You could be like, "Whoa, okay, I don't know about all that shit."
I make you look better.
Yeah, I make you look better. Yeah, shouldn't you want that challenge as a coach? Like I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would. I mean, too, you get more out of it as a coach. If you turn something into nothing.
To I guess to each their own, but I definitely have more respect for coaches who are willing to work with pretty much anybody, and they don't only talk about their top guys, and then everybody else is kind of like like they don't matter. I don't think that says more about your character than who you are as a coach. You might be a great coach, but your character is a little bit like that. Just seems funny to me. It doesn't seem like the right way to conduct yourself. But all right. You down to do a couple questions? Probably just two.
I got a little bit.
All right, bet. Are you worried about the tariffs and how that could affect business? That's not how he worded it, but he the way he worded it, I can't read it how he worded it. But yeah, but basically, like gear prices are going up.
Yeah, because they were trying to do something with those packages that are like under like $600 that come from China. They were trying to stop that, that loophole. So I mean, that's just part of the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got good prices, sometimes you don't. Like, you know, like if you don't got the money, you can't play.
The prices of Anavar have been going up. I don't really fuck with Anavar, so I don't really care too much. GH been fine. I haven't seen GH prices go up. I've noticed that packages from China are taking a long time. Not from my experience, but you know, from friends who tell me.
The scene taking forever to come through.
Man, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, that's like you said, that's part of the game. There's going to be ups and downs. Price is going to go up and down. Sometimes you might not have access to some things, but you know what? The truth is, what I learned about bodybuilding is it don't matter as much as you think it matters. Really, you know.
Yeah.
You take out Primo, you'll be fine. You'll be fine either way.
Yeah, typically what I try to do is like, you know, for off season or prep, I just try to get everything up front, you know, so you don't have to worry about that variable when you're deep into it.
Yeah.
You know, kind of get a stockpile.
I kind of had to take a break from GH for like 3 weeks, and I lost like 5 pounds of fullness. I got back on it within 2 days. I already gained those pounds back. So it's like, does it make a difference? Yeah, but it ain't the end of the world either way. You know, in the end of the way. So if you had to do a prep without GH, how big of a difference do you think it would make at this point?
I don't know. I can't really tell when you're in prep. Like, you know, like what is it doing? Like, even when you up it, it's like, man, you don't really get that improvement that you're thinking you're going to get.
I agree. In off season, I notice it more, but in prep, whether I increase it, decrease it, if I take it out, I'll lose some more to weight. But
yeah,
you know, I think we would be shocked that we wouldn't look as different as we think we would. You know?
Yeah. It's only a couple percentage points. Yeah. It ain't like 10-20%. Like,
and once you've had that initial hyperplasia, like the new muscle cells, after running it for 5-6 years, I think you keep that. So it's not like you're gonna lose the new muscle cells.
Oh yeah, right? You're good with that.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm sure I don't remember the last time I prepped without GH. But...
Me neither. Yeah, me neither.
Like, how was that? The first show I ever did, I pretty much tried to run up in there natty.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, man, they got a classic out now. I don't need to take nothing to do that.
Hey, go to your bed.
I just wasn't as round as the other guys, but I had the similar size.
Yeah, that's the thing. The roundness is what I noticed the most for sure. Yeah. All right, each man, who have the best non-Olympia winners? Man is not about something. Do you think Sam Sulek's praise is earned? Is he getting praised? I don't think he is getting praised.
Yeah, they're kind of beating him up from his show. Like,
I think it's the opposite. I don't know if he's being praised. But let's say this. From my knowledge, he hasn't put any expectations. I've never once heard him say, I'm going to turn pro. I never heard him say, I'm going to be like a top pro. I never even heard him say, I'm going to win the show.
Yeah.
All he does is work out and film that shit. He's a young dude doing what he loves. That's it. He's like any one of us.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's just his following. They have so high expectations because of that. And they're giving this like this false standard. I don't know. I'm probably not saying that right, but they're just like I don't know what they're expecting out of him, but like I think he looked great for his first show. he looked better than me my first show.
Well,
So,
unfortunately, the expectations from his fans, people are conflating that with his own expectations. He hasn't said anything about any expectations, but people think because his fans think he's gonna be a top Olympian, people are judging him by the expectations that aren't even his own, which is kind of weird.
And he won the show in the overall, so it's like, man, that's
You know,
killing it.
or like, could his posing be better? Yes, but it's his first show. He posed way better than most of us did at our first shows. So like we wasn't flexing our glutes perfectly and shit. Like that's what. Keep in mind, it's his first show, not his first pro show. His first show ever. So I think he did the best he possibly could have done by winning the entire fucking show. And he was in shape. Most of us aren't in the best shape our first show, and he was in shape. You know,
and he coached himself.
Yeah. So,
and his tan looked good. Like,
shit, he literally on paper couldn't have done any better.
Yeah,
he won the entire show. He was in shape. His tan was on point. I mean, that's what he got to. I thought
they wanted him to look like C-Bomb his first show.
Well, literally anything less than looking like C-Bum and posing like fucking Lee Labrada would have been a failure to people. You know, I was actually I thought he looked great. Or sometimes they'll compare like some of his high quality pictures and videos to the stage, and like nobody looks like that, right? And like you can't expect a stage shot to look like a pumped gym picture under perfect lighting. Nobody would look like that. That's not how it works, right? That's why everybody says, yo, a week after the show, I look so much better. Yeah, and in the gym you do, but on stage, it doesn't translate that way. So it's like, you can't, you know, and even though the pictures you're getting, that's before he dehydrated, before he made weight. So yes, it's gonna look different. Like that would go for anybody, you know? So, yeah, I don't think he's getting a lot of praise actually, but I think he should. I think he, you know, I think he earned everything he's gotten. I think he's earned it. He did it the right way. He didn't do no weird gimmicks, no weird videos. He's just doing old school fucking training and eating. That's it. You know, I think that's the best example anybody could have given his demographic, because most of these other people that age, they're doing a lot of silly shit. You know,
just picking a show and doing it, that's hard enough. Like most people, they pick a show, they drag it out to the next show, to the next show. It's like he actually followed through and did it. Like that's hard.
He didn't even make a big deal out of it. He didn't be like, everybody come to my show and I'm giving out a free fucking Lamborghini. like the man just died and did a fucking show. Simple. He didn't even come with an entourage. Man was in there with his brother. He didn't even have a cameraman, bro. He was in there with his little brother. This is like, you can't ask for anything. Like, he's so real and authentic, and like this is the role model that we want a lot of these younger kids getting into the sport to be like. You chilling, you know. He went to school, got his degree. He's still driving the same car. He didn't change up. This is the best role model they could ask for. So I think we should be giving him credit, because a lot of us, we quick to talk shit about some of these other influencers that act like, you know, like children and shit. This guy he's doing it the right way. I don't think he can do it any better than the way he's doing it. So he got my respect for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. All right, let's do one more. For each best front double bicep in history. It's quite a list.
I thought of like a couple. I'm just like,
Well, also what criteria? Because I feel like Arnold's front double back in his days was crazy.
Yeah,
but
at that time. Mm-hmm.
It was you know, because he didn't have like sweepy quads, right? So it's like it's a different. Even the way they hit the pose is different. So I think you would have to narrow down that question to Shit, let's start with today. Who have the best front double? That's even hard to answer right now.
Yeah, I don't. That's not a pose that I really stands out to me. For, like.
Well, the ones that do stand out to me, well, he's 212, but still, Keon, man, that's a solid front double.
Yeah,
solid front double.
I kind of like the ones that are not vacuumed, but
Andrew.
Yeah, I like Andrew. Andrews is nice. Yeah, I like the abs.
I like how you said now though, but I didn't like the. I didn't.
No,
I
don't like that. Nah. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, I feel like he was too big to be doing that, but now he hits it like that. Yeah, I think if we talking open, Samson has a good one, but Andrew shows more detail.
Yeah, I think his arms are better. More details on the arm. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Well, we know what it looks like, but let me just pull it up in case. I might have to give it Andrew. Derek had a good front double, but it's a different looking one. It's a vacuum. His hips, yeah, his hips are back. Keon hits the vacuum, but I got to be honest, that pose is so crazy on him that I wouldn't want him to do it any other way.
Yeah, I like how his arms complete that.
Yeah, this is the straightforward one. This looks way better than the.
Yeah, you just hold it a little bit longer.
Yeah, this year he didn't look very excited posting up there.
Yeah, it's like at least hold it long enough to get a photo.
Yeah, I don't. He looked like he was trying to get out of there. I don't know what happened this year. Maybe he was just tired of dieting. I don't know. Look at his face.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, he probably wasn't. But at the Olympia, because I could have sworn the year before, I guess last year, he doesn't look too. I think he said he was sick though that year. He doesn't seem too thrilled on that Olympia stage for some reason. Maybe just a timing thing. They got them out there late. Who knows? He might just not be in the mood.
Yeah, he got to get it together.
Yeah, because he got a crazy big. You gotta make it happen, bro. Shit.
You don't want that Kai problem.
No. Yeah, his music. I watched the Bob Chick interview on JTV. Bob said when the music started, it was just a lot of profanity, and then somebody said, "Yo, cut it," because Brandon, I think Brandon had went, and there was some profanity, and they were like, "Oh, should we cut it? Oh, fuck, we don't know." And then when he came out back to back, another one even worse. They were like, "Oh, fuck, just cut that shit."
These niggas is out of control out here.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to though. Okay, but you might get away with it at maybe he did it at a different show. Maybe at Texas you could get away with it, but the Olympia is different. The standards are going to be higher. So maybe you get away with it here and there, but you can't take that risk at the Olympia.
Yeah, I think the DJ should have listened to it beforehand.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a part of the production, it's like that. You just messed up the production doing that.
I think the Olympia is such a big production that you can't even rely on the athletes alone to get it right. You have to double check it.
That's what I'm saying. You need to listen. Somebody need to listen through that, or get the AI.
Exactly. We can't have just one checkpoint. You know how in Olympia where the tanning people, like even if you want to do your own tan, they'll come check your shit and make sure you're all because they can't just leave it up to you. This is a production. This is much bigger than one athlete. So I think there have to be so much checks and balances to make sure that nothing goes wrong. I think they have to at least do a sound check. Everybody who gave their music in, make sure the music even works. Make sure it's the right song. Yeah. Make sure there's no glitches. So I think there has to be even a bigger process just to make sure that something like that doesn't happen at all.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it was like a couple seconds in. Like you didn't listen to any of this. You just threw it on.
Yeah. That happened to Breon as well. I know Breon didn't have profanity because he plays old school R&B, you know, and his shit just I don't think his music came on at all for Breon, and that's unfortunate.
I had that happen at a show one time. They put on a different song. I'm like, this ain't even my song. Like, I was like, like I didn't want them to kick me out. Like,
yeah. Did you still pose? You still posed?
Yeah, but they cut it off. But it was just like I'm looking at the DJ like, hey, that's not my song, bro. Like, where's my song at? Like, like.
That's also why you know how they ask you want the music on before you come out or after.
Yeah.
I'm always gonna do before because I've seen people like come out and get in their pose waiting for the music to come on, and they're just waiting. And I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. At least if you back, at least if you backstage, sometimes it takes a little longer. And I'm like, I'm not coming out till you play the music. Play the music. You know what I'm saying? So at least you can wait backstage. Like, come on, let's go. But once you're out there, you just standing there with no music. It's crazy. All right. I mean, this is pretty good too. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it's as better than Andrew, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. If the arms are better, I would say it's but I'm like, the arms ain't that.
Not that crazy. Yeah. His front relaxed actually looks better than his front double. Because he's wide in the shoulders. Who was I think Keon?
Yeah,
Keon shit is pretty crazy. Keon got better arms than Lunsford too.
Yeah.
No. Can't be that far away. That's probably his best pose. Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, his classic one was good too.
Yeah, that was awesome too. Yeah.
But just the V tape
right now, his back isn't that bad to me because I could still see the abs.
Yeah, and he's not shooting his hips so far back like some of the guys. Some of the guys shoot their hips out so far, it looks uncomfortable. He looks like poised. He looks this waist is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not always a fan of the vacuum, but when it looks this crazy, it's just crazy. Who would you pick though over him and Andrew in the front double?
I'll go Andrew.
I think I might go Keon, man. Just because the size of the waist. Andrew got a small waist too, though. But there's something about how this waist comes in and the lats pop out. I think that's insane. But from a judge's standpoint,
it's the best.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like the size of it. And
from a judge's standpoint, though, I wonder which because they said the vacuum was fine. So I wonder if they still prefer like Andrew's or his.
Yeah, I think the vacuum is fine in the front double bicep, but the abs and thigh, I'm just like, nah. You better show your abs. I don't like the one to the side either. Like,
show a little bit of both. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that's what we're comparing.
Yeah, I feel like if the judges allow it, then you're always gonna do what you feel like is gonna not show your weaknesses. Abs and thighs. I'm pretty sure they said that you can hit the vacuum, right? You don't actually have to flex it. I think both would be best if you hit it and then probably pull your vacuum just to give that look. But if they allow you to do it, people are always gonna choose to not show what they don't want to show.
Yeah, I mean, they should allow you to do it, but I mean, you shouldn't get no points for it
because you're not hitting your abs.
You don't show your abs. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? If you showing half the pose, you showing your thigh, no abs. You just sucking it in because your midsection is not as good.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, for abs and thighs, if you don't show your abs at all, does Sebum show his abs at all? I know he pulled the vacuum, but
yeah, he does it for a second, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think he's locking it in the whole time.
Yeah, man.
But that was the thing that I like because I seen a lot of the updates for the classic guys, like the Mike and somebody else. Who was it? Somebody else, but all they're posting is most musculars.
But they don't hit that on stage.
No,
that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, what are you posting the most muscular for? You want to be a bodybuilder or you classic?
That's a good point. Yeah, they don't even judge that part.
But it was looking nutty, but it was just like that one right there with Neil.
Which one?
Right, a little bit lower to the left.
Oh yeah, right. He looks big. He looks big for his weight. I don't know how the fuck he.
Yeah. To me, that doesn't look really classic. Like to me, that looks like a swole bodybuilder. Like,
yeah, there's nothing classic about this pose. The way he's hitting it.
Yeah, it's just too grainy and hard. Like classic shouldn't be grainy like that. But he's probably not going to look like that on the stage. But still, I'm like, what?
No, his front double is crazy too, though. I saw it the other day. He got a crazy front double.
Matt Grego, he posted a crazy most muscular.
Oh yeah, they're all doing. Matt. Okay, I gotta be honest though. Matt. I think Matt is a bodybuilder though. I think Matt is a bodybuilder that's just can make the weight. Mike would make a really good bodybuilder as well, but some of his poses, his front double has some classic attributes to it. When I see Matt, honestly, I just see a bodybuilder.
Yeah, because look at that. That looks great.
Yeah, yeah. Him to me.
But it's like, I just see like a pose that you hit. So
yeah, I see like a young bodybuilder.
Yeah. Especially he keeps improving. So
yeah. Well, let's say if this guy walks into super heavies at any national show, I think he cleans house.
Yeah, I don't know how big he is. You know how Instagram is.
Good point. Yeah, but
he might be heavyweight.
From these. Yeah. I didn't keep because if he's like my height, his weight cap is probably I don't know. I don't even know for the 212.
5'11" is like around 222 for a pro classic.
Oh yeah. So yeah, he would make heavyweight, which is crazy because he looks big.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is Instagram.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, you never could tell. You never could tell until you see him in real life.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Because I always feel like I'm small and I see the guys in real life. I'm like, man, this guy ain't even nothing.
Well, it's because your height too. Because a lot of people aren't that tall.
Yeah.
So that structurally they don't be that big. All right.
I'm only 5'11".
But for bodybuilding, that's like that might as well be 6'3" in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Everybody, you tall, like I don't think I'm tall. I think y'all.
Yeah, we try to lower our height. Like I'm 5'8".
Yeah, and in a sport where most people are short, you're by the time you hit in bodybuilding, by the time you hit 5'9", you're tall in bodybuilding. 5'9" guys in bodybuilding, they're on the taller side,
Yeah.
But, all right, bro. I think that's it. I appreciate you for coming on, man. If you free Sunday, I'm gonna shoot you a link Sunday too.
Yeah, I should be. Sunday's usually my day off, so yeah.
Fire. All right, bro.
Yeah.
You already know.
Good catching up with you. Good seeing you.